You feel that Liquid, they might have some issues because OG's draft, in your eyes, pretty much what OG hoped to get.
Yeah, I was just wondering how this Lycan 5th pick came up. I think, well, I forgot about it, so I'd assume Kuro did as well, because if there's one thing we learned yesterday and throughout the major as well, is that when teams pick up Vengeful Spirit and Beastmaster, Lycanthrope combos really well with that. We saw NaVi trying to go for it yesterday as well in some of their push strategies, and it just feels like that TA pick wasn't at all as worthwhile as banning out a Lycanthrope would have been.
Yeah, I think we were kind of talking about maybe hypothesizing that maybe this is something that OG have run in a scrim against Liquid before, where they picked up Templar Assassin against Lifestealer, and it's proven to be really effective. Maybe they've just seen something in the past like that, it tipped them off. But it did feel like, at least in my opinion, that Juggernaut would have been the better ban. This is something that OG specifically, this is a huge strategy win for them when they're able to pick up Juggernaut 3-4, even if it's sometimes not the greatest pickup against the current heroes. It allows them to go so many different ways still, because they just as easily could have run Juggernaut mid and had some different safe laner, or they could have had Juggernaut safe lane and we could have had some sort of tempo controller for Meracle at mid. There were like a lot of different ways they could have ran, so it's hard to lock that draft down, and inevitably that means that the last pick is going to be in the favor of OG, which I kind of agree with Jacob. I think their lineup is a bit better. I like the Bristleback choice though for Liquid. I think that was really smart and swing things a little bit back in their favor.
I mean, what do you think about this decision then to put the Lycan mid and have the Jug in the safe lane? Is that just purely to keep the Lycan away from the Darkseer lane?
I didn't really need to put the Jug in the middle lane. There was nothing that he needed to avoid going up against. So the Lycanthrope isn't going to have any difficulties farming up against the Bristleback. So this way you're going to get the levels faster, and, you know...
Jug I think would be a little bit more threatened by the Riki rotations alongside the Lion and then the Bristleback already in lane, but I think both heroes have a tough time against Bristleback. This is a hero that should win melee versus melee matchups.
He's got to be careful. I mean, you get a couple of Coil Spray stacks and already Meracle being harassed back. He's got the backup of crit. He does have to be hero. And Liquid, of course, they've decided to open up with this mind control, going straight to the jungle, and just having Kuroki down on that bottom lane to soak up levels on the Riki.
Yeah, no point in putting mind control down there against a lane that could easily kill him. It's better to get to have him start off in the jungle and get the early start for Kuro, because they're just not gonna put that much pressure on him. They're not gonna prioritize trying to shut him out of lane, particularly without dust. So instead, they're just gonna focus on single pulling.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great decision by Liquid. I love how Kuro always thinks of these laning options and being very versatile in how they move. I sort of called him out on the Dazzle going for the offlane last time around, but it proved to be really, really strong. Obviously why he's sitting on the stage and I'm sitting in here casting.
Yeah. Ghost2 Gamers Captain of the Year 2008.
9.
Top lane.
Oh, excuse me, Jacob.
They've caught out Moon here to stun into the Hex. Liquid looking for first blood, and they'll find it. Jerax, more than enough control to deal with this offlane beast. And Liquid off to the start they hope for it. 1-0.
And it's sort of ironic seeing Moon fall into top lane. If anyone follows him on Twitter, you'll often see him saying that you just go for the Quelling Blade and jungle don't even care to show up in lane, and then he dies.
Yeah, he probably got into that mindset. He was like, okay, it's going to be more of a dual lane scenario with Riki rotating out, so maybe I can win this 1v2. The boar might be enough to give me the distance against a Lifestealer, but obviously it's not really working out for him. Would have been much better to just Iron Talon immediately. Maybe he was just afraid that the Riki would have put too much pressure on him, but we've seen that matchup before. Oh, mid lane deep fly, finds himself an Invis, comes in, sets up the kill. OG, punish Father here. Nice rotation, and of course it's always the 2-minute invis ring. There's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, that's the exact problem with having the Darkseer jungle early on. Because of the Stealth Assassin soaking up the experience on the bottom lane, they're lacking that support hero to run around and control the middle lane, so they don't have any information. And that way, there's no way of them knowing that they picked up the invis rune, and that's almost always a kill if you have a disable.
No tell. Getting fairly aggressive here with the farming. Feeling safe to move like this, kind of as you said as well, just knowing that it's unlikely that a reaction is going to come out from Liquid. And no tell at the moment, 20 for 10, sitting at the top of the CS. And mid lane matchup fairly even as well, 15 for 1 against the 14 for 3 between Fada and Meracle. So no huge differences coming out there.
Kuro.
And the stomp, not going to quite catch him. Kuroki put the smoke screen, has got the backup of mind control. With the iron shells out, OG needs to be a little bit careful.
Quite the misplay there from OG. They really had that trap completely set up to catch Kuro as he pushed forward. They should have gotten that kill, but Crit, he throws the Spirit in an awkward place where it's not close enough to actually get the stomp, and he didn't let fly lead either, but they may still get it.
Oh, again, Kuroki just jumping around OG. Not allowing them to get the lock on him. And now, of course, they'll know that that sentry's there, Liquid. That's just out of range of each other's sentries, so I won't be able to deward it straight away. But at least they'll be able to play around it here in future situations, and unlikely, of course, due to that, OG are going to be able to catch Kuroki again in this position. And mid lane, Meracle getting dove upon. Fada, one more quill spray probably would pop the dog. Oh, he's got the stick charges though. So Meracle will be fine.
The supports know they have to like rotate pretty heavily and try and put pressure on mid, because the Bristleback just soloed out against a Lycan is going to win that matchup, and he also is getting some room control as well, getting free refills on the bottle and such, so they need to try and address that. But now it's Kuro's turn to be the more effective roaming support, because he got those levels at the bottom lane. He's gonna be level 4, he can push into mid.
They're gonna find Moon here as well. Jax with an incredible movement here as he came around between the tier 1s and the tier 2s, nice catching them off guard, but the nice stomp from Crit holds back Liquid. So they won't get the kill. It's a good job the Crit was there, otherwise Moon, no, it's like the Iron Talon jungling wouldn't have saved him there.
Both these teams are so incredibly good at reading the map and finding these opportunities early on, knowing where the enemy is most likely going to be. Crit being there to help out Moon as well. But the whole, the same way they got the kill on the Bristleback by having dominance through one of the Liquid heroes being in the jungle, the same thing just happened in favor of Liquid now, where Moon had converted into the jungle, so not only did they control the bottom half of the map through the stealth assassin, but they also controlled top half.
No tail.
No tail.
Potentially in trouble here. It took a Satire Blast to the face. Kuroki's coming over as well, and yeah, they'll follow this man down. Healing ward, is it gonna be enough? One more touch would do it. No, it won't. The heals are too strong, and now Kuroki, he's gonna get taken down with the tower. The magic missile onto mind control. Not gonna be enough as he will surge away, but Liquid messing up at the same time though. Fada moves in on mid, takes a kill onto Miracle's Lycan. Crit unable to do anything about that as well, as Fada will be able to walk it off. So 2 for 2 as the trades continue here.
Man, Fada is... you know, remember back in like Cloud9, you would talk about Fada and the old like Fada S4 matchups, and you would say these are two of the best aggressive mid laners in the game, and then like Fada just kind of like dropped off from that position. I'm not sure what it was, but I felt like he wasn't that top place slot. I think Fada has been one of the best mid laners the past year. And yeah, I'm saying now in this last year, now that he's on Liquid, he has been like, he's back to that like top place slot again, where he's gotten like, I almost oftentimes feel like he destroys the enemy mid laner so hard that sometimes it just wins the matchup hard enough for them to win the early game. Oh yeah, definitely. I fully agree with that. Something about Liquid, I think, just like kind of, you know, enabled that for him.
I mean, at this point of the game as well, would you say that there's a side that's coming out on top, or have both teams kind of got their merits at this point?
Liquid definitely, in my opinion, are ahead in the laning phase, just because Vada's putting enough pressure on Meracle, keeping him down, and Moon's not getting enough in the offlane. In fact, he may end up going down. He's still at the infest bomb, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, playing around this, no tail. Chasing this down with the Blade Fury, but he's into the creeper now. Starts to move back. Jax being chased down by Meracle. Turns around with the stun. No tails there to finish off the job though. We'll take down the Lion.
The old Invis Ion Shell.
Also the fact that there is that Lifestealer coming over as well. So yeah, OG will back up, keep their distance between themselves and this Tricore and Fly. His movement will be spotted out here as he comes around towards the lane. So mind control still with his Invis. Just keeping eyes on what OG are doing behind this tier 1. But they now know it's an Invis Darkseer because the Stealth Assassin is sitting in the middle, in the bottom lane and hitting creeps, so Crit should be able to deduce that this is actually a Darkseer Invis. Yeah, if they just limited that last kill, you would see really big differentiation between the supports of Liquid and the supports of OG. Kuro being able to have his level 6 by 8 minutes, this is just all thanks to the space that the Darkseer's kind of given him. He can be really high impact, but OG are going to strike first. Strain on top, no messing as Moon drops the roar. Gets the kill onto the line, but Matuma Man is there and TPs will be coming through. Liquid are looking to punish OG's play here. Straight onto the Moon. And they'll find the Beastmaster kill, so OG going in hard for the line kill, but it ends up to turn around and bite them in the foot.
See if they can turn that into... it's not going to be a tower push for sure, but it does... Like, that kind of trade-off, you look at it, it's just like, okay, you traded support for an offlane that's good for Liquid, but the positioning is to the favor of OG, right? Like, the Lycan's getting free farm in mid, he's pushing the tower, Miracle's doing, or Notel's doing something similar bottom, where he tries to get it, but control.
He's playing around it, he drops the wall, so the illusion tanks some of the Omni Slash, and he gets the kill. Brilliant play there from the Darkseer, just straight up 1v1 outplaying Notel's jump.
Holy crap.
What a play.
Mind Control is another one who's like so incredibly dominant in his position. Oh, up. Oh, he's got it.
Kuroki jumps in with the backstab at the final moment. Oh man, some great plays coming out for Liquid here.
That was such a great outplay by Mind Control at bottom. I'm still like just a little bit flabbergasted that worked out for him.
What I love watching with these two teams is that health is just something they're playing around with. You know, he's on 100 HP, he's still running back in to make sure that the Juggernaut is taking those extra hits from the tower. Slightly, ever so slightly baiting out that Juggernaut, just praying that he won't get a crit off.
This is a risky gank at top lane just because they don't have Omni Slash. They're looking to be able to chain stun the Primal Roar into the stun from Fly and give Notel enough time to spin to win, but looks like the Lifestealer did kind of get the heads up. They had a ward behind the tower, so he probably scattered at least a part of that rotation. So he just backs away to the jungle and they just take the tier 1, but it doesn't matter for Liquid because they've taken the tier 1 mid and they're pressuring bottom at the same time. They're getting the better trade-off.
It's quite an interesting stat. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the fact that this is Miracle's first pro game on Lycan. Last time we played it in a ranked match was against the Vega stack. He ended up going 1 for 4 and destroying all his own items. So I think OG hoping that that's not going to happen here.
I mean, I was pretty surprised when I saw Meracle playing pick up the Lycan and Notel on the Juggernaut. I thought it would have been vice versa.
You would have imagined it to be the other way around. Yeah.
But
I guess it's, as you said, just the flexibility the OG have, especially with the Juggernaut pick, for sure. They're both Notel and Meracle can offer high-level performances, but top lane, Kuroki caught out. They'll find themselves one with man coming in with a TP, but unable to do anything about OG's play there.
Kill. They get some more damage on the mid tier 1. They could rotate as a full team and actually take that, maybe? I don't know. Fada can put himself in the front lines, though. That's tough to beat.
Oh, Jared's coming in time for the initial and the finger as well, but it's not enough burst. Meracle will survive. Playing around this, sending the walls back in, and in fact, thinking about going in for the kill onto Jared. He will get it, but Meracle, incredibly low, has to be careful here. Make sure that he doesn't get caught out. So only one death at the moment. Matuma Man turning up, looking to move in onto Moon. Do they have the damage to bring him down? No, Moon gets himself away with the TP. So this time OG again find themselves a kill and lose nothing in return.
Yeah, that's the benefit right now. There's only 2 disables on Liquid that can stop TPs, and with the Lion dead, that's pretty easy. If Darkseer isn't around.
Croaky.
Balls on Meracle, though, to go for that kill still against the Lion with Ion Shell. He was so close to taking out any other hero from Liquid is around there. He would have died as a trade-off, and that wouldn't have been worth it, but he makes the correct reads. Crow's gonna find a free kill, though, on Moon, it seems.
Yeah, ready to go. Jump is straight out onto the Beast. No backup here for Moon, as indeed the combo is successful. And this is a combo that we do see a lot of the times just not get through the drafting phase. It's such a fantastic vessel for the Lifestealer to move around in the Rookie.
Yeah, that's why Lifestealer is so many times like banned out in the 1-2 area, just because there are so many heroes that can combo with it. Like Lifestealer Riki is really dangerous because you have this Infest Bomb into the silence that very few heroes can deal with, and maybe Riki is not in the pool, or maybe the enemy team grabbed it, but then there's like Slardar Riki, or Slardar Lifestealer. That's another combo that feels rather OP in this patch.
So the score is 6-6, and actually towers in favor of Liquid against the lineup that you would assume would push them a lot.
Oh, and trying to get on to Fada here, but I mean, he's just going to walk it off for the time being. They need more damage. They do have an Omni Slash.
Why are they doing this?
With the counter by Trick the Trade from Kuroki crit. He's got down and now Liquid. They'll move on to Notel as well. They're ready to continue this fight. OG are scattering here as they realize this may not be the fight that they were looking for. Meracle trying to get himself out of the stun across the tree line from Jarat's controlling the big bad wolf. Liquid take a second. And OG, not the fight they were looking for there, Jacob.
It's Vanguard prison back. What are you gonna do? You can't take him down, and especially not when you chase him into the vicinity of their middle tower. So just a bad decision by OG. And what I was so glad to say before that fight erupted was that it was 6-6 in kills, but the only kills that they really got off from OG was on support heroes that were already leading the supports of OG, so it's not at all as beneficial as, for instance, Liquid constantly killing off Moon, delaying
They've got
that.
no tail.
Oh, he's in trouble. They've got the control. Oh, Jerax!
Okay.
Resident Sleeper there with a stun. It looks like it won't matter. There's the Finger to redeem himself. Will end up killing off the Jug, and Liquid moving in for a second fly. All alone. He's going to fall as well, and Liquid just outplaying OG again in this second game so far. I mean, OG, it feels like they just need to regroup, have a bit of a sit down and a chat, and start playing a little bit different, Cam.
The story of both these games, has been that Liquid has just been uniting as a team every time. You see them moving around as 4 or 5 people whenever they fight. They back each other up, they're constantly there for each other. They, of course, have these 2 tier 1 towers to TP on still, so it makes it a little bit easier for them. Whereas OG completely lost control of their side of the map through losing their towers.
Yeah, really good play by Liquid, seeing the opportunity of just making the super fast rotation to bottom lane, catching OG off guard. They just knew No-Tail didn't have his TP. He would have had to go into the side shop to pick some up. And this Bristleback pick is really working out. It bullied the mid lane. It's great against the Elder Titan because you're looking at damage reduction plus not only just from Bristleback but as well as from Vanguard, and that's really effective when you have no armor naturally, right? Because Elder Titan takes it all away. So this hero is just impossible to kill in these team fights. OG is trying to put like damage, like armor reduction plus physical damage is just not going to work against a Bristleback. So they can't bully him, they can't bully the mid laner, they have this constant infest gank to worry about, so they can't even like spread out and try and out-farm Liquid because there are too many opportunities that Riki allows you. He always gets so much free information and sees the opportunities for free pickoffs, and a pickoff can easily turn onto Roshan soon if you're not careful as OG, because Liquid do have the minus armor and physical damage between Bristleback and the Lifestealer to do it relatively quickly.
Brokey hit. Coming around with some amount of OG, they do have 3 around. Fly does have a dust as well, so let's see if they're able to react to this one. Fly with a quick swap, saving crit. Now with the dust, looking for a turnaround. Gets the magic missile up on the button. No, Kuroki
Nice
jukes
dodge.
it out with the ult. Nice play here for Kuroki, making sure that nothing is lost here from Liquid.
Yeah. And look at that, just because how quickly Liquid reacted to the counter from OG, they don't even lose anything for attempting that. Oh, they actually forced OG to group up.
The Liquid, they want to go straight in. Straight back
no,
towards
this is not
OG.
the way.
Let's see if they can catch anyone out here. Fly has a magic missile. He's actually not going to get it off, and I think even if he did, it's this Bristleback that we've already talked about that's at an insane level that it's very hard for OG to even dream of taking down. To the point, I guess, in these fights, do you have to just ignore the Bristleback at this stage?
Yeah, you pretty much do. I think OG even, like, they're still going to try and make it work, and they probably can just because they have Elder Titan, a great team fight hero, but team fights are really tricky, and they have to think long and hard if they actually do take a team fight against Liquid. Because Liquid seem to have this overwhelming advantage thanks to the Bristleback, and now it's going to be additional advantages because they've got Jerax with the Blink Dagger, so now they've got a separate form of initiation. This time it's hard lockdown as opposed to just the silence and the Riki.
And just yeah, looking at the farm across the board here for Liquid, they've got 3 7Ks, whereas, you know, No-Tail, he's 6K, Miracle's 5K, Moon, he's only 4K at the moment.
There it is. Oh no! Jerax, another uncharacteristic mistake by him.
Trance.
He just goes for like the blink way too early and doesn't get an instant range for the Hex. Like Finger, especially with Finger in the Infest Bomb, that's a guaranteed kill on the Juggernaut, and then they might be able to take the tier 2 just because they're, at that point, OG try and go for the trade-off at top.
Meracle trying to commit for this, TP in from Mind Control. You've got the wraparound here from Fodder, so between two of them, not a lot of control of the wall, so Meracle will be able to get himself away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they jump in onto crit. The control is there from Liquid. They'll take an Elder Titan kill. And I mean, at this point as well, 11 for 6. Jake, obviously, we looked at the start. We felt that the OG, they had a clear kind of plan in mind with their lineup. But we're 17.5 minutes in, and they've only taken 1 tier 1. How much of an issue is that for this kind of draft?
It's a huge issue, and they're just not playing as well as Liquid is. It's like Liquid is showing a different kind of class right now, especially in the team play department. Every decision they take it has a purpose. It serves a purpose, and you should see the lead that they have now. The Lifestealer sitting on the Echo Saber and the Armlet of Morrigan, and then the Bristleback has a Vanguard, and he's very close to completing a full Saints and Yasha as well. These 2 heroes are going to be so incredibly hard to take down. What OG has been doing is trying to give Moon some space on the top lane, farming up, sort of trading with the Darks here. Unfortunately, they've been giving away kills in the process, but he desperately needs this Necronomicon to actually dish out even more damage.
Yeah, all three of their cores need a good amount of farm, which is why Fly and Crit had to get so much done in the laning phase. But again, what the Kuro got his farm, then he's going to become the more active force. And they actually may get caught here just because the smoke is going to reveal plus the dust.
Engine dust, can they kill both of them? They'll swap back Kuroki, but Superman coming up with the Omni Slash is big from No-Tail. So they can get it. Kuroki did duke out a lot with the tricks of the trade, and he himself actually might be able to walk away from this, but Superman is going to have the backup of Fada. He's going to live with the armlet topping, and OG, they're unable to find any kill at the moment. No-Tail's going to be the first to get brought down. Finger from Jerax, the Hex onto Meracle, trying to control the wolf, but Superman still alive here. In fact, he starts to scare the wolf back off. Liquid, they've lost no one yet. Kuroki walks off as mind control, comes in with the mech save, and OG does not kill anyone, and Liquid, they're not done. They're trying to move in for more. Kuroki jumps in. Oh, he will finally get taken down. OG now find a kill in return. Liquid now looking to cut their losses and get out, but a full smoke there. They get the jump onto Ricky and the Lifestealer. Lifestealer lives, and they end up losing their own carry, OG.
It's just very symptomatic of these two games as well. The fact that they have 4 heroes perfectly located around a double target that should easily go down.
That Meracle getting jumped on immediately. Fly will be there with the swap, but Fly, he's been hexed up. Great control for Jerax, and they'll lose a second OG. I mean, Liquid, they are, as you said, they're just on a total another level this series and this morning. I mean, 20 minutes in to be this far ahead. I mean, how do OG even think about bringing this one back round?
Split push.
Yeah, they just have to split push, get their cores online. They need a certain amount of farm for all these cores to start feeling their threat. You have to remember that this lineup it's one of those pushing, like, transitional style lineups where they win a team fight, they instantly take towers, and they take them really quickly. So there is still a significant threat from OG where if they win one team fight, they could really start making a comeback. But this is kind of reminiscent for me of like the MVP Liquid matchups, where the Liquid are so good at this exact kind of lineup that OG are running, and now
again
Kuro
trying to go onto Kuro, but immediately this ult just causing so many issues for them. They'll still follow through the magic missile. The rest of Liquid looking to back off, so maybe just leaving Kuro to go. No, he jumps across. No-Tail will continue to chase, and no messing at this point. No-Tail feels he's just got to get these kills, so drops the Omni to secure the one onto Kuroki.
He uses the Omni Slash, securing them a 4 versus 5, but is it going to be enough to finish off Roshan? Liquid are still going to try and contest.
Jumps in, vacuum, doesn't drop the wall as of yet. Look, correct, getting low, controls them in place, but the OG will get away, taking Roshan and getting the Aegis onto the Jug. They'll control, mind control it, pod the mech. They'll kill off the Darks here, now looking for more. OG with a bit of a turnaround hit, Jerax to fall as well. So a great bit of play there from OG.
And watch OG rather now take control of this game off of one team fight. They're going to guarantee get this tier 1. They can probably try and put some damage on the tier 2. If the Liquid start contesting and they don't feel comfortable because Bristleback is still a beast, they can instead spread themselves out and start getting that farm we were talking about.
Yeah, so the strength of the lineup is actually peaking right now, where they have these double Necronomicons, they have a full Madison style on the Juggernaut, who now has an Aegis as well. So because of that very fully initiated teamfight by Liquid, they allow OG to come back into the game.
A big part of it was the fact that Crit managed to get his, he got the damage onto the line. That actually stopped it, because the vacuum was supposed to be intended to couple up with Jerax blinking in and landing the Earth Spike, but the damage puts the Blink Dagger on cooldown, and there was no follow-up at that point.
What was weird to me was that Mind Control didn't use his Wall of Replica. He had it up that entire fight, he jumps in, he gets off a 2-man vacuum. They're probably aware of the fact that they're still in the Rose Pit. Putting on a Wall of Replica there would be great.
So Liquid lose a bit of control, lose a tier 1 and a tier 2. Significant amount of gold being given to OG, but just because you gave away that Aegis doesn't mean that as Liquid you should try and back away from a fight. I think you keep on going, because you can't let OG set the tempo of this match. You need to be the ones like continue to batter, and that's what I was referencing to MVP. MVP are incredibly good at continually fighting. They just go and go and go at you, and that was what prevented Liquid from being able to kind of set up a team fight win into a push. That never happened because they were always losing fights. MVP was constantly running at them, and here Liquid are going to try and do the same thing against OG.
OG, let's see what the reaction is. Fly, just bringing back the wave. The wave. Liquid Liquid continue to put the pressure on the same time. You've got Moon up on top for OG. Looking to push down a tier 2, and it looks like Moon will get away with this one potentially if he pushes in again. He's a little bit worried that there may be a reaction, and Kuroki is indeed making his way up here on the Ricky. Moon having to be a bit careful. And he's just going to go for the straight TP out. Nothing that Kuro can do about that one. Indeed, this tier 2 pulling low, the pause. Actually, we might nearly be able to get it now. The Tumberman jumps out. They're clear off the waves. Tier 2 will still remain here for Liquid. At the same time, Liquid weren't able to find the tier 2 themselves in the mid lane.
Oh, look at the smoke gang coming up into the dire jungle now. If they pick off these 2 heroes, that can very well be OG knocking on the Liquid side of the base.
Should know about this, but they're not going to be fast enough with their retreat. It seems like the swamp should be there.
Bringing it back, but Tumberman, can he play his way out this one? No, he cannot. Immediate jump in from OG. See if he can get anything more. Miracle's got a DD. Moving in with the shapeshift. Jump forward, Moon. He's looking for the raw target. He'll pop it onto the bristleback to contain him. Husband comes through, but a huge amount of damage. OG ripped the bristleback to pieces. And Kuroki, he's going to go as well. And OG, oh, the stun! Oh my god, vacuum, the combo's huge, but it might not be big enough to fly. He's going to survive it, getting himself away from the illusions. I mean, the combo was pretty, but he just came a little bit too late. Too many members of Liquid dead. And OG, after a slow kind of opening, 20 minutes into the last 4 or 5 minutes, they have really turned this game around.
Yeah, certainly. It was just sort of a classic play where when you're the ones trying to defend against the push and split push the enemy, you force the TP back, and as soon as that happens, your offlaner who's split pushing away comes back to the base, and you smoke up and you push out and see what you can catch while you know the enemy team is separated. Liquid, they knew that was kind of in mind. They just didn't retreat fast enough, and one catch like that, we talked about it before.
Oh, nice vacuum there from Micro, clipping 2 of them. Fly, he's going to get focused down first. The Hex control onto Meracle. They're looking to find a second on this defense, but a good stomp from the Elder Titan holds back the remainder of them. And Tumberman, he's going to continue the chase there. Meracle, he's not going to be able to get himself out of this one with the open wounds down on him. Liquid will pick up 2 on this defense, but indeed the damage already done to the base. And I guess this is the thing, it's just OG's lineup is so volatile. If you lose one fight, suddenly you're losing a whole lane.
Yep, that changed real quick. After that Roshan fight, there was just suddenly it was OG in charge, and then with that one pickup on top, where Liquid is then underestimating. What they've had going for them is the fact that they were leading the numbers game. They always backed each other off with more heroes than OG. In this case, they came in one after another, and that's a basic mistake in Dota. You often see in pop games, for instance, that players will just run in and die once, and then the next player will run in and die, and the next player will run in and die because they don't time the support to each other.
Yeah, it's essentially like a sense of loss of control, where Liquid are scrambling to get the game back into their hands because they lost one team fight. They know how dangerous that is against this OG lineup. Then they lose the second team fight. They're scrambling to be able to try and contest OG, to stop these objectives from going down, from stop that, the gigantic gold lead that they managed to build up in the first 20 minutes slip out of their fingers, because they know once the game is even, OG have a big advantage just because of their strategy. Their strategy is that they can lose 3 fights. Liquid won't be able to push high ground, but if OG wins 1 fight, they can absolutely push high ground and take a lane of racks.
OG, yeah, just really recovering incredibly well from this early stage. Liquid, now I'm going to look to try and find some sort of catch with this smoke. But OG, early crew top of this stage, so they're going to be very hard to catch off guard as they move up as a 4-man, and also Meracle joining the force behind them. See if Kuroki can catch anyone out. Maybe Fly, as if he backs off here, but he just drops the ward down. And Liquid, looks like they will be unable to find anything with this smoke as it does begin to wear off, and they'll have to back off and just look to clear out that top lane. And
well, OG saw it because they used the Iron Shell on them, smoked, and that triggered the aggro of the creep camp, and they have a Hawk on top of that, seeing that movement from the creeps. So while they didn't see the Liquid heroes, they actually saw that creep being aggroed and losing HP.
They still have this haste rune from Loda that they may be able to make use of. OG probably see this as an opportunity. They're like, okay, great. We managed to, deny their smoke, essentially. They now have to split up because they have to deal with the top lane push. I think Liquid still need to look for a fight, but they kind of need to, I don't know, between the Hawk and the Wolves, I was going to say vision is a problem and maybe they should pick up a gem, but it's actually just the fact that OG have 2 different forms of summons that they can throw out. It's not even a warding game. They always have information, but it's not wards.
Kuroki trying to move in, will get raw, but Superman jumps out, immediately onto Moonfly, gets the swap off Moon. He's going to live at the timing, but no, the Infestor, they'll catch it, and OG's fly falls as well. Hex onto Meracle, they need a bit more control, but he already got the ult off, so running around, Jarax goes for the TP away from the minions, and he gets it. Smart TP from Jarax, and let's see if they can find anything else in Liquid. Looking at Meracle, but Meracle will continue to back. Superman, can he get in range for the open wounds now? He's not willing to dive that far. And No-Tail's TP'd in as well, but OG 2 men down, only able to get that kill onto Kuroki. So this should give the space at least for Liquid to find a tier 2 themselves.
Yeah, tier 2. Something, but it's not quite what's going to allow them to push high ground. They still are facing up against an Elder Titan, so what they really need to make the next gigantic step forward is Liquid needs Roshan. That's where the next fight is going to be all about. They can get the Aegis into their hands, and they can go high ground with some confidence, even though they're facing up against teams so much better. But they're really ticking down on time.
Bristleback completes the Shiva's Guard now though, so if they take a 5-on-5, I do think they should be winning, especially with that Darkseer. One good wall of Replica into Vacuum is gonna seal the deal if they can keep them in place, and they do have the Lion to sort of control that.
Yeah, it's still the problem though. Well, they win. Again, it's the problem where if you win one team fight, it doesn't ensure anything serious.
Their base push is not at all as scary.
They do have 3 team fights in a row. They have to win one around Roshan to get Aegis, then they have to win a second one high ground, then there's going to be buybacks, and then they have to win that third one to really end the game. While OG, they've taken the laner racks at top, they can just as easily play, defend one of those fights at either Roshan or at mid, and they've stalled out the game, and they're going to be free to set themselves up for another pick off into objective that is so quick for them.
And at this stage in time where the game is sort of even despite the lagging racks on the Dire side, what Liquid needs to do is take the fights on the Radiant side of the map, just to have that fail-safe that if they do lose the fight, there's a long way for Liquid to actually run up to their base. They don't lose it immediately, because if they lose a fight close to the Dire base, they're just gonna lose their throne.
That's why they have so much incentive, right, to fight around Roshan as well. Yeah. Like, not only do they want to contest that objective, but it's also a fight that isn't near their base, since they're Radiant side, and they have great Roshan, actually, defending heroes, mostly from the Elder Titan.
Yeah, and also another thing to note, of course, that last fight, there's maybe a bit of miscommunication with Liquid because the top lane was left open. The creeps did a huge amount of damage to the range racks, and Liquid actually used the fortification, so that's now on cooldown. Having no fortification against OG's lineup is pretty damn scary because, as we've seen, one opening and OG, they're wrecking your base.
They almost found that opening. 5 seconds sooner, they would have gotten mind control. Considering his play, that would have been a great pickoff. They even get the scan, and they could have actually dove into the inside the base with the wolves leading the way, and still caught mind control inside. But not going to be the case here. They wrap back through, I think, an attempt to catch anybody still and set themselves up for Roshan. They got a pick.
Right onto Jarax here. Necro units out. Jarax just melts here to the level 3 Necros. Arteezy coming in from the backside. Pops the Shivas, but Meracle immediately with the ult starts to run. Crit, they try and jump on him, but they don't get the lock on. And now No-Tail with the Omni Slash jumping onto the Superman. Meracle jumps away. The Grease keep alive for time being, but he'll still go down. There's your vacuum walls, but again, where's the follow-up from Liquid? They need to get more damage out. OG controlling the fight perfectly at this stage. Crit going in with a huge ult, slamming Fada and Mike Troll in the face. The swap from Fly, bringing Fada back into the center of the fight. The Axes come out. Can they kill this man? Shiva's out again, but No-Tail in with the crits, takes him down. They will lose Fly, but big kills for OG. This is now 70 seconds with the Bristol on the sideline, but Timmerman's come back into the fight, will be surged away. OG looking to Kuroki, jumps back across to mind control. But yeah, this is a risky window now without this Bristol back. Liquid, they need to find something good.
They have to find this to pick off.
And they've got it. They've got the Hex, cancels the stun. Meracle, he's not going to be able to live with one round. The fingers there. Huge Bristol. Oh, he is! Crit with the saves. I mean, the stomp, the forward off. They
almost have him.
They need this kill. Jarax will Hex up Crit. They will kill the Elder Titan and mind control with the chase down. We'll see if Meracle has any way of playing his way around this one. He's actually just going to try and buy to mind control, but it's not going to work. So Liquid do finally kill off the Lycan, but I mean, OG just playing their hearts out here to stay alive, but Liquid, when it matters, they do end up coming out on top of that fight.
Yeah, ever so barely. It's off the buyback of the Lifestealer, and they had to get those picks just to be able to ensure that they can take Roshan from here, because they need that Aegis back into the hands of Lifestealer. They can't afford to be in this situation where he dies once he's gone for 90 seconds, so they simultaneously at their worst and still have an opening just because they're going to get Aegis. They have to be able to control the lanes. Mind Control is very smartly going up to the top lane and going to start pushing this out now to alleviate some pressure, so maybe Liquid can take some control and force the fight on OG's side of the map with this Aegis.
And Crit trying to save Meracle there and almost succeeding as well actually meant that Liquid can do the Roshan uncontested, because had Crit still been alive, they could have contested it without the Lycan.
Maybe they still can't contest. Jesus, they're actually kind of slow at doing it without Vada.
Oh, they found Mind Control upon the sidelines. They can take the Darkseer out of the fight there. No wall this time round. So Liquid in a good place, buyback immediately from Mind Control, knowing that he's going to be needed for this contention of the pit. Roche will still go down to Liquid. They'll find it. Aegis now on Lifestealer, and OG back up. So OG do try their best to stop the Roche, but it's not going to be successful.
I think it's still a worthwhile trade just for the fact that they got the Darkseer and now he doesn't have buyback for the next 6 minutes, so that's something.
Yeah.
He's the most integral part of the 5-on-5 skirmishes from Liquid, so if they can get a pick off of him, they do have the tools to do so. The Beastmaster Raw, the swap from the Vengeful Spirit.
You're still going to be really scared as Liquid push forward just because you have those two heroes without buyback, but I think it's something you have to do.
Oh yeah, this game currently favors OG by a large margin.
They've got Scotty on the Juggernaut now. They have such a hard time actually being able to burst through these heroes, and this is where Lifestealer really starts falling off. It's when heroes start getting tanky enough that they aren't just immediately bursted down by the quick rage 1, 2, 3 hit, and also when Force Staffs and other kiting mechanisms come into play. See, they carry like Juggernaut or the Lycan. They don't have that same kind of problem because their mobility in Omni Slash or the ult of the Lycan.
So what kind of item progression do you think Bristleback and Lifestealer should go for now?
I mean, the Shivas was the right choice against all these Necronomicons. That's pretty natural pickup against Lycan, but where does he go from here? I'm not quite sure. Because he also has a bit of mana issues, right? With all these Necronomicons out. Maybe he goes just straight hard next. They still don't... Oh, they do have an AC on Matumba Man. So they've got both the armor items. They can just hard up, and then Lifestealer picks up an Abyssal Blade, replacing either the Aegis or the Echo Saber with it. Because he needs some hard lockdown. He still has to deal with the Force Staff saves from the allies of OG, but at least he can, you know, put someone like Juggernaut and stop him in his place.
The thing is, it's not the Bristleback dying in the fights, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they should actually give the survivability to the Lifestealer and then have the Bristleback go for some sort of damage item.
Maybe. I just like Heart just because it's also a good increase in damage as well, just because it's a great stat item. But what would be a better damage item where he could really threaten OG?
I mean, a Basher.
He gets the Abyssal Blade himself.
The fact that the Lycan Juggernaut can just run around and do what they want as soon as they take out the Lion, sort of makes it hard for Liquid to do anything and catch them. They can't force them to fight in the wall of replica.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that as well.
I mean, would you say at this point, because of the drafts, are Liquid definitely the side that's going to be forced to look for action, or is there any way that they can kind of take a more steadier pace at this stage and destroy?
They have to look for action. They have to, because there are so many openings, right? This is what Beastmaster allows you because he has so much vision. That's what the Lycan does as well. He sees when you guys are at a positional disadvantage. He sees the openings. He sees the opportunities for pickoffs, and with Boots of Travels coming into play, that threat becomes all the more real. So I think it looks like Liquid are waiting for the buybacks, but
they need to do what they did yesterday and just wait for the enemy to make a mistake. Right now, they're not in a position where they can allow themselves to play too aggressive.
You mean Liquid or OG?
Liquid.
Yeah. I guess. I just feel like you're just kind of like...
I mean, it's gonna be a YOLO move if they do go on the aggressive, because if they lose once now, they lose the game.
Yeah. Really, like, the decision is kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. The Liquid are in a very hard place where they kind of play real passive and slow down the game. OG are going to find opportunities to get a pick or push.
Oh,
maybe they found the fight, though.
Yeah, coming in. Connects the Shivas onto 2, but OG They're just going to back up. Oh, they're trying to get a lock onto Crit, but holds back the Bristleback with the Yule Scepter. Kroki's there with Matuma Man inside him. Trying to jump forward onto Crit, goes for the stop, gets it on the 3, tries with the TP out. Isn't going to work as Matuma Man jumps out. And with a double slap of the Echo Saber, will take down Crit. So now gone for 50 seconds already, though. TP's back from Liquid to clear out the top lane.
Well, what do you do with this? You take the tier 1 because you don't have to deal with backdoor protection there. But all the lanes are pushed out. They can't actually just take an objective off of this.
I mean, again, you can see the walls from Meracle knocking onto the range tracks and Admiral.
Oh, BKB.
Actually go down here.
It's actually a very underwhelming item progression for Meracle. He's sitting in the bottom 5
really is.
Of last hits, and I think it's 10 minutes ago that he finished the Necronomicon 3, and he's sitting on a Hyperstone and 3k gold.
Maybe Liquid are actually okay just because Miracle's so
and the Omni Slash here is going to not work out at all for N0tail. Hiroki coming in with Matuma Man, they'll look for the lock onto Meracle, and look at this damage coming out for this Lifestealer, ripping the Lycan to pieces. And Liquid finding some big kills now.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Jacob, because I did not realize how low Meracle was in Network. Like, the fact that he doesn't even have the AC yet is very surprising to me.
It's a bit of an oddity of a game. Like at first I thought there's no way Liquid can lose this. Then OG does that one comeback fight at Roshan and proceeds to take the top fight as well. And then I'm thinking, okay, there's no way OG can lose this game. And now I'm sort of on the fence again. I'm like,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of change my tune here, just because I didn't realize Meracle is so underfarmed that I saw N0tail. I thought Meracle was gonna be around that kind of farm, but it's actually just N0tail trying to solo carry the DPS output at this point. They still have this really good positioning advantage because they have such great pushing heroes and one lane of racks down, but Liquid, maybe they are unstoppable in fights. The BKB freshly picked up by Fada is kind of a good pickup as well. He no longer has to worry about the Elder Titan and the things he does, as well as he can just immediately focus down Necronomicons. Those are obnoxious in team fights, but Fada can deal with them.
if the game goes late though, what happens when they keep adding items onto the OG lineup? Don't they just get...
Yes.
I don't know.
But the question is whether or not Meracle is actually able to get those items, because Liquid are still creating, it seems, this atmosphere where Meracle is not able to get that kind of item progression, or if it is, it's very slowed down. So
they do
yeah,
have double force that though on OG side. Swap, of course, so they can take him. Like they're gonna do what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Sit behind him.
Protect Meracle at all costs.
Fada though, how do you kill him?
You don't kill him. You probably just make sure Meracle survives and call it a day.
So they are going for the tank build on the Bristleback and the damage build on Matumba instead. Completing up a Skull Basher for the Lifestealer, and then of course the Black King bar assembled earlier on the Bristleback.
Do they need a Lotus Orb or OG?
What do you think, Owen? Who's got this?
I don't know, I mean, at this stage, the way that Liquid are playing and catching out Meracle like we just saw earlier on the bottom lane, it still feels that Liquid are playing at the same level that they were in game one, but OG, they're starting to turn up a bit more, and I think it's just a very scary game for Liquid, because there's still just that threat of, you lose one fight, you're going to lose a lane of racks.
Yeah.
The push is so strong from OG, and Liquid's lineup, they just don't really have that. I mean, yes, you can have the Bristol front line, you have got the Tester and the AC on the Lifestealer, he himself can do a bit of damage, but at the same time, as you said, Jacob, the fact that OG's cores and just lineup as a whole seems to scale better as this game continues at this sort of passive pace.
Guro's going to take another smoke, but he has a gem.
Didn't see them though. Oh, now they spotted.
A bit of
but
a
the wraparound may still catch someone.
If they can find anyone, I mean, it will be Fada at the front line, and yeah, this is not the hero you want to jump onto.
Certainly not.
GG just back up with that magic core Meracle inside the patch, but flies there with a swap, anything to like it. The Infest coming out, not enough damage to bring it down on the back. They call the stun onto N0tail. The finger as well. Can they bring down this man? No, he gets the Omni Slash off in time, but the Greaves, Mini won't get the kill. They'll still lose the jug. Fada pops the BKB. No one to fall yet on Liquid. Jarek's trying to jump forward, see if he can catch anything more, but OG already disengaging. So again, another one of these fights where OG find nothing, and Liquid, they do kill off one of OG's cores.
Fada's just like, especially in that kind of scenario where it's a funnel like that, he can act as the buffer between him and his allies. Yeah. Despite the fact that, you know, they managed to get the Omni Slash, and there was that big ultimate from Elder Titan, there was very clearly going to be no follow-up because they have to run through the Bristleback. Like,
yeah, they've already lost too much HP before they back off, and Actually, Matuma just completely ignored the Juggernaut, allowing him to get off that Omnislash. He could have hit him once and saved them a lot of pain.
He probably just saw that like this team fight is won, and he was just gonna go for more. He just tried to pick up the extra kills.
I'm trying to catch out Meracle here, but again, crit, forcing him away. Roshan is going to be back up now as well, so we'll see if Liquid want to head themselves over to the pit and try and take that. I mean, OG, they will have the full lineup to contest it. For the time being, looks like Liquid are more focused on sticking around, keeping the pressure on towards the mid. But yeah, okay, now it's been spotted. Now they know Roshan's up, so Liquid will immediately back up and start to move towards the pit. But the question is, I mean, OG, they should have a shot at getting over there in time and contesting this for sure.
There's 30 seconds on the Omnislash, and I think they do need that spell for the fight.
They don't have buybacks on any of their cores though, so this fight is going to be dangerous for OG to take. Not having buybacks is one way where Liquid can actually take objectives.
Oh, OG scouted out that they're not doing Roshan, so it's a double bait.
So he's going to be the first to get caught.
Underneath the tower.
And the Necro units from the front, bashing in the face of the Bristle. Now OG see if they can move forward for more. Immediate buyback front fight on the Bristle, knowing that he's going to be needed in this team fight. Trick the trade, Kuroki jumps across, trying to get himself out. They need the Bristle to reach on the fight. But the Fusel down on Kuroki. Matuma Man jumps at Kuroki, will be the first to fall. The ult from Crit coming in, catching out Liquid, and now the Omnislash ripping through Matuma Man. He's trying to run with the bashes there. They'll lose the Lifestealer as well. 3 dead on Liquid. Carter, he's got to get himself out. He can't afford to die here. It will be a dieback if they can catch him. There's the first Diffusal Blade buyback from Matuma Man. They know that they've got to keep this battle up, but the damage from OG, ripping the Bristle to shreds. That aura from Crit's Elder Titan Spirit, just doing so much in removing a huge amount of this Bristle's tankiness. He's now dead for 900 seconds.
They got the top wave pushing in, so they're going to be able to go straight into the middle lane and take that down. And the question is if they just go for the throne. There's 90 seconds on the Bristle back. Lifestealer just bought back, so if they manage to kill him again,
if they actually go throne, I think it's just over.
Oh,
Jumping in, finger onto
Almost
No-Tail.
killed No-Tail, they need this kill!
Matuma Man, he's chasing it, but he can't quite get it. They can't kill No-Tail. Matuma Man tries to turn towards Crit, but now the rage is run out. He'll be forced away, but again, Crit with the stomp, catching him out. The second Diffusal charge. They can kill this Lifestealer, but Matuma Man's just turning. Trying to man up, trying to fight against him with the bash from No-Tail, controlling Matuma Man. He gets the second rage off. Kuroki's already on the backlines with the smoke screen, and they will keep Matuma Man alive. So Liquid, can't get the stun. Jerax, he gets punished immediately. He's now dead without buyback. Kuroki's gone as well. They will have mind control back up.
Yeah, it's over.
OG moving into the tier 4s. The push is just far too strong, and GG is called in a game where Liquid seem to have the perfect opening, but OG, they've played it so well. And at the end of the day, Malk, I think it's as you said, this draft, it comes together so perfectly. You just need to win one fight, and you're taking the game.
I mean, that just displays the strength of the lineup of OG, right? Liquid played this game perfectly for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and this was still the end result. They lost one Roshan fight, and they completely lost control of the game, although they also lost their mind. They played 10 minutes where they kept feeding kills one after another instead of playing the same controlled kind of team play style that they had for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's